We're live? I think we're live. I didn't get the countdown. How many thought that was frozen? That's not frozen. I'm here. Hey, welcome to Model Railroading Channel, where the show Who's Big Bill Talking To is now airing live. I'm Big Bill, your host tonight, and we have a special guest. What's today's date? August 18th, 2021. My goodness gracious. Is not the summer flying by? I hope all you guys out there have had a great summer and that the remaining part of the summer is good. I know some of you guys out there your kids have started school, so you're probably going, oh, who? The kids aren't in the house anymore. Oh, who? So that's good. Good to hear that. But I hope the rest of the summer is good for you guys. Right now here in New York City, Staten Island, we were under a tremendous heat wave. Man, 95 degrees plus, felt like 106. The big man here stayed in the air-conditioned house all day for 3 days. Didn't do nothing. Worked on the layout. Thank God I got an air conditioner for the room. That was big plus. Let me say hello to Hillbilly Railroad. Good evening. M&M Rails. Hey, and Mark, how are you? Drew Dudes Model Railroading. Yes, we're live. John 2618. Hello. Hey, Hillbilly Railroad says, hello, Big Bill, my brother from another mother. You got it. Grandpa Rails. Hey, Bill, Scott, Mark, John, Drew. Ha. Hello. Hello to you guys. So far, that's it right there. Nobody else is coming in. That's good. We'll have a small party. A lot of questions, I hope. Anyway, we got a special guest on tonight. I got him. Hey, IMRRO Com is in. Eric Hall. Say hello. Oh, we got everybody's now. It popped in. Fred E. Model Railroad. Hey, Bill. Hi, Fred. Chris Lambert. Good evening from California. Good evening, Chris. How are you, buddy? Grandpa Rail says to Fred, hey, Fred, Eric, and Chris. Anyway, just want to let you guys know that we have a special guest tonight, an oldie buddy goodie. I have him in the green room off to the side. I hope Ari got the air conditioning fixed. We got rid of the gas station sushi. I left him some chewing tobacco. Big Chief, I think that was his favorite. I don't know. I think, but we left him some chewing tobacco, and I think we got the air conditioner fixed, or we got a fan put in front of a block of ice. One or the other. We spend no expense here at Model Railroading Live. For you guys that are just joining, this is the Model Railroading Live channel, the number one model railroading channel in the world. Absolutely, if not the universe. Also, we are in the end of August, and we're coming up on September. You know what that means, right? We're coming around the clubhouse turn here. And in September, we're going to have all our favorites back. Johnny's Train Talk Show will be back. Johnny has been away. He's been on vacation for June, July, and August. The guy's been all over, getting postcards from Greece, from Paris, everywhere. It's amazing. The guy just couldn't stay still. So he's out and about, and I think he went up to Colorado. I'm not sure. I'd have to ask Ari after the show. But he's out and about. But he's coming back in September in Johnny's Train Talk Show, and that's going to be airing on Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And John has been working up such a show he'll have for you. I can't believe it. He's going to have such a show. And the Railroad Empire guys, I'm telling you, those guys have been burning the midnight oil for the new shows that are coming up in September. I cannot wait to see what those guys are doing. They have some really good stuff happening. And what else? Of course, yours truly will be here in September, full blown, full kicked in, and stuff like that. But that's basically, who came in? Michael Broshiers came in. Hello to you. Sparky's in the house. 107, 107. Who else? Hello, everyone. I got something to say to you, Eric Hall, but I want to get more people involved in this, or more people coming up. Before I introduce my guest, I have a question for the community out there. When do you think model railroading season starts? That's the question. When do you think model railroading season starts? Jerry's in the house. Hey, Jerry, how you doing, buddy? So that's it. Now, without further ado, I want to introduce our guest. Now, this guest was a former, or still is, basically. He took a leave of absence, and he's been busy. He just got back into doing model railroading and doing some stuff. And he's a good friend of ours, a good friend of mine. I first met Joe. Let me introduce him. We're going to bring in Joe Desmond. Joe, come on in. There he is. My main man. What's up, Joe?
Nothing. What's up?
Not much, Joe. Not much. Congratulations. The baby is almost 18 months old.
Yes, she is.
Yeah. So that, for you guys, just to give you a little background, Joe Desmond used to, still does. He with MRL, Model Railroading Live. He used to do the end scale into the train house, right? And we used to drop DCC into end scale engines, and we did weathering and painting and whole slew of things. And then his wife was expecting the baby at any time, and she did. And then John had to take a leave of absence to tend to the things in the household. And now things are starting to Sparky 107 says great weathering guy. So there he is. And stuff like that. But we welcome back. Joe and I were talking a couple of weeks ago. Joe reached out to me and he said, "How can you think I can come on the show?" And I was like, "Absolutely. I'd love to have you on the show."
Yeah.
And Joe and I first met a couple of years ago. I was watching Joe's channel and I reached Joe. Let me see if my 65-year-old memory is good. I reached out to Joe because Joe was doing a show and he was talking about getting a spray booth.
Yes.
For his layout, and he was thinking that he was going to go to Micromark and some other place. And I had a spray booth in my basement that was buried in the back, and I was not going to use it at all, never. And I reached out to him, and Joe, he lives in New Jersey, so he shot up. And that's how we met. And it came in, we hung out, had a little coffee, a little cake, and gave him the spray booth, and he put it in use, and which was to a good thing. And then our friendship flourished from that point on. So
that's right. And we did some shows together, and then I had you down for I did like second or third operating session. You drove all the way down for that, so that was cool.
Yeah, that's a story in itself. Joe, I'll give you the background. Joe invited me. He said, "I'm having what was your second or third?"
It was the third session.
So I'm having an operation session. I'd like for you to come down. And I was like, yeah, sure, that works. I can do that.
I know where it's going already. I'm already laughing.
Right. So I'm ready to go. I get up in the morning. I'm having breakfast, and my wife is like, "Are you looking forward to doing this?" I said, "Yeah, it's pretty good. Meet new guys, new stuff." She says, "You don't sound too enthused." I said, "Well, this is actually. I've operated before on other people's layouts, but this is end scale, and I really don't want to mess up operation, and I don't want to do this, and I'm afraid I might screw up." To which my wife, God bless her, she says to me, "Didn't you used to operate like $2 million worth of equipment for the New York City Transit Authority as a motorman?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did." And she says, "And didn't you do that for over 30-some plus years?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "So what is the model railroading? What if it falls off the track? What's the worst that can happen?" I said, "I buy the engine." She goes, "Well, that's not too bad. No one gets hurt. So I went to Joe's house, and because I was the last guy, I didn't have any seniority, so I was the low man on the totem pole.
Right.
Now Joe had the room off to the side, and he did a wonderful job of setting it up. He had a crew lounge outside. He had coffee, cake. He had iced tea. He had everything.
Yep. And I remember I think that was the session too that Mike, his wife made a big tray of brownies too.
Right. Exactly. And they were homemade cookies too, as well, which was really good. So my job was I had 2 put-ins from the staging yard. So the yard master comes in, he says, we had the whole radio thing going on.
Yep.
Guy calls me, he said, all right, time for you. So I put the train in, I brought it up, the helix, and I said, where do you want it? And he said, just put it behind that signal, so-and-so. And then it hit me. I did this before. I did this before. And when I realized that I had done this before in my real job, in my real life, I was like, that was it. I went into the crew lounge. I kicked off my shoes. I sat in the chair and I put my feet up, and Joe was upstairs being the dispatch, and he comes down. He goes, what are you doing? I said, I'm doing what I used to do on my job. Nothing. I had my feet up. I ate the cookies. I had coffee.
Oh.
And then he called me back an hour and a half later to put the other one in. And then after that, he said, I'll call you back when I need you to bring it back. And that was the day. I was like, and then I left. Remember what I said to you? I said, when I come back, and I want to be the yard master.
Yeah. Yep.
And you were like, really? I said, yeah. So tell me, what's been going on the Central Jersey Conrail and N-Scale? In N-Scale, that's the name of your YouTube channel. If you guys haven't seen his channel, go tune into it.
So
what's been going on?
So what happened was we broke. I stopped filming in November. I filmed a bunch of videos and edited them up, had them all preloaded on the channel. It was pretty much going to get me through about 6 to 8 months of time, so that I was going to take the break to be with the baby and help around the house and all that stuff. And then I would ease back into it, start producing videos again. So everything was going good till about March. And then I know it's a bad pun to use in this respect, but the wheels fell off the train. And we got all involved in this COVID lockdown. And it just really destroyed my model railroading. It was incredible. I had reached a point probably about mid-March, maybe April, where I was kind of in a depressive state because I was watching everybody on social media, like they were flourishing. They were having all this time to do their model railroading and editing videos and putting out stuff. And here I am, I'm like gone. I'm not doing anything because it got really hard for me. I'm working these crazy hours because, I had to wake up at 4:30 in the morning, no, more like 4, get ready for work, get dressed in the garage, put my uniform and all my duty belt on, get all my gear loaded up in the car, and drive to work. Then I would work. My shift would be 12 hours. And it was probably one of the worst, probably 4 or 5 months of my whole career.
Yeah, I believe it.
I would get to headquarters. We were discouraged we were not allowed to go into the building. We were discouraged from using the locker room. We were discouraged from eating in headquarters. So pretty much what I would do at 6, we wouldn't even have briefing. I'd get in the parking lot, load my patrol car up with all my gear that I would need. And I would be living in my patrol car like a vagabond for 12 hours. Going to these calls, eating my lunch, just pretty much sustaining myself, going to the bathroom in parks and just being uncomfortable. And it was like that day in and day out for all that time. So then I'd have to go back to headquarters, put my stuff in my personal car, go drive home in my uniform, go into the garage. And because there was all kinds of crazy stories about you do this and that, and that. So I'd have to disinfect everything and undress. I'd put my uniform in a garbage bag and seal it up and come in my skivvies and go right upstairs and take a shower and then come down and be with the kids for a little bit and eat dinner. And then next thing you know, it's like 11:30, 12 o'clock, and I'm falling asleep because I'm exhausted because I got to get up in 4 hours to go do it again. So this whole day after day thing just started to just wear me out, where I had no energy to come
Right.
down here and do anything. So really it languished for a long time. And in my days off, I'm like, okay, I have to
Sleep.
go. No, I had to get up early to go and try and find groceries and try and find supplies and to go do this for my wife and go because she's taking care of the baby. I don't want her out. I want her to stay home and be healthy. So it's just
Sure.
it
It was a very, very, very trying time.
yes.
Very.
So really no progress. My last video aired in June, which that was I still it's kind of got a little bad taste in my mouth. I did the first. What I did was I started a new operations series, and I filmed the first video. I put it out in June, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to start working on the videos, and I never got the time to go back and film the video. So there's the beginning of the operations series is out there from last June, but I've never got back to filming it because fast forward, I'd say February after this Christmas, I finally walked by the door for the 100,000th time, looking in the train room, seeing the big disaster on the floor. I said, "That's it. I'm done. I got to get back to doing what I want to do and start enjoying it." So, I just haven't got a time to get back to that operation series. So it's starting to roll. We're making big progress here with scenery and all that. I put out a video. My first video came out. Let's see, we're in August. June was my first video, I believe I put out. And I'm starting to produce videos again. I got another one coming out at the end of the month. I'm working on footage for September and October. So the channel's coming back, and I got some plans for towards the end of the year to make some more videos. I want to bring back I got a lot of locomotive work to do, so I want to bring back the locomotive series. So the channel's starting to revive itself, and I really have to say, excuse me, I really have to say thank you to all my followers and fans because they were just wonderful, understanding people, and the comments that came out was just like they were all very happy to have me back, and the viewers are coming back. So I'm very fortunate to have good followers.
I think that what this past year, I mean last year 2020 was as bad as it was, there was a lot of good that came out of it. I know that personally for me there was a lot of loss, friends, a family, stuff like that. But out of this came a sense of, togetherness, sense of, unity, if you will, and stuff like that. So I think the community of model railroading came together and very supportive of each and every one who was doing things. I had Eric Hall. Eric Hall's on his way to a operational thing with his friends, but I just wanted to let you guys know that and then this is an unbiased plug. I don't get anything out of this. I really don't. But he started a company called Wild Hair Limited. It's a 3D printing company that he has started. He's manufacturing 3Ds printing, and I just bought some stuff off him. So I just wanted to give that a plug to Wild Hair. That's the name of his company, and he does 3D printing. Joe G just did an unboxing from his fire truck of stuff he got. Shot 2 thumbs up, way up, and so if you get a chance, and he does it in HO and N scale, so that would be great for you guys to do. And the question I asked before Joe came on was, when do you guys think model railroading season starts? Some of you said it never ends. Some of you said that football season starts and stuff like that. So if you want to chime in. Michael Brochia says, I've learned a lot from Joe, and he's given me inspiration to keep going.
Thank you.
Chris Lambert asks, what is the name of Joe's YouTube channel? I have that right here.
Oh, Sparky just posted it in the feed too.
And Sparky, you guys are stealing my thunder. Central Jersey Conrail in N scale. Wildhead Limited LLC.com. So go check him out. Good stuff. I just ordered some stuff. So Joe, you should check him out too, Joe. He makes great stuff for you. What you do.
Wow. 3D printing. How has that changed the model railroading community? I mean, holy mackerel. Let me just show you a little example. So I did a video in July, and it was about Jamesburg. I was finishing up Jamesburg, and there was like one key little scene is the Veterans Park in Jamesburg. They have this very unusual Veterans monument. So I had said, I got to do something with that and figure out how I'm going to scratch build that. So I think the video released, and like 24 hours later, I got an email from a gentleman. I forgot his card on my desk over there, so I'm good. If he's watching, I apologize. I'm still gonna plug him on my channel, but it's 1/160th. He's from out of Montreal. He does 3D printing. He sent me
Bernard Heller.
I don't know.
Mini prints.
No. Hold on a second.
Go get the card. We'll wait.
Hold on.
I'm retired. Where we going? Sparky, no need to apologize, son. It's all good. Possum Bayou. Now is a good time because it's hot outside. It's hot down there. Grandpa Rails. Hey, Rusty, Sparky, Rusty. Pass to Michael Nicodemus. Is there really a season for model railroading? Well, depends on what part of the country you live.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Mark, I'm bad with last names. Foulard.
Yeah.
On Etsy, it's etsy.com/ca/shop/1 spelled out 60MO3DLS. That's his Etsy shop. Let's see if that works.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's the guy, gentleman I'm talking about. So he sends me this email with this picture, and he says, "Hey, I watched your video last night, and I made this up for you. Are you interested in it?" And he sends me that.
Nice.
He went and 3D printed the monument. Now he is from Montreal, Canada, I believe, somewhere up in the Great North. He doesn't even know anything about this. He did this from a picture off of Google Earth.
Nice.
How amazing is that?
That is amazing.
It just goes to show you 3D printing has really changed our hobby, and it's amazing. The quality of the prints are coming out really good stuff. There's a lot of people who are very talented with this and just doing all kinds of good stuff. So
we recently had mini prints on. We had Eric Hall on with his. He was just starting up Wild Hair. We had Lad McClumpsky from South Dakota, all scale miniatures. Who else did we have? A host of other guys that were doing 3D printing, and good stuff, and not stepping on anybody's toes. You know what I'm saying? Very, wide and
And what's pretty neat is it seems like I'm definitely gonna go check out Eric Hall's shop after we get off tonight. But it seems like each guy who does it kind of specializes in certain things. Like one guy will specialize in rolling stock, and one guy specializes in details, and another guy specializes in something different. So that's what is really cool about all this 3D printing stuff is each guy kind of like does what they are good at. So
yeah,
fine. Not all 3D printers are doing the same stuff. So that's
no. Michael Brochet says, "I just retired and can't believe I ever got anything done while working." It's so now. What now? You kind of gotten back to a little bit of normalcy. Am I correct?
Yeah. We're getting, in fact, 2 or 3 weeks from now, my wife's going to start going back to work full time because she works for the state government. They've been working remotely, but I guess that's over. So we're going to start getting back into our routine. Caitlin will start going back to school. I'll be with the baby, and traditionally, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but traditionally nap time is my midday model railroading time. So that's
all right.
That's all right. That too.
We won't tell her.
Yeah.
We'll hide the address so she won't see it later.
But definitely getting back to normalcy so we can get get more progress going here.
And I noticed that in some of your latest videos that you're starting to really get into the scenery end of.
Yeah, right behind us here. This is all ready to go. I got the big holdup right now is putting lights in all the buildings, and I'm going to put those buildings down, start doing ground cover. The end of the peninsula over there is done. Maybe before the show's over, I'll start rotating the camera around so we can see. End of the peninsula is almost done, ready for, and then I got to make trees, lots and lots of trees. I think my model raring, the way I do my model raring is is shifting a little bit because, you know, during the lockdown, I was looking at Facebook and really fell in love with like Tom Jacobs, Dave Abellis, and who else am I favorite? Mike Rose. Dave Abellis is doing the O'Donnell cutoff for Conrail. Tom Jacobs is doing the Reading Railroad, kind of in that transition to Conrail 2. And Mike Rose, or I might be mixing it up. And then one of them does the D&H, how it interfaces with Conrail. And trees. Lots of trees. That's what I need. That's what needs to take this level to the next level here, is I don't have enough. Like there was one scene on Mike Rose's layout where like the train's going through and it's obscured by trees. And I really love that because let's think about when you're out rail fanning, there's not all these big open spaces. You know, you got trees obscuring everything. So he's got this where the line is cutting through and it's just obscured by all the trees. So yeah, that's why I got to do a lot more trees. And I think that'll change the whole way this layout looks. And I think it'll make it a lot better from the way I want it to look.
Right. A gentleman from Arizona, Chandler, Arizona, got in touch with me.
Uh-huh.
He really searched me out. I mean, he saw somebody wearing the South Brooklyn T-shirt, and he's from Staten Island, originally born and bred in Staten Island, and his wife was born in and raised in Brooklyn, in the same neighborhood I was. So I get a phone call one day, and it's this guy named Ray, and he's like, "Hey, I saw your YouTube channel, and you know, I just want to tell you that really love it, and Baba, the whole thing." And I was like, "Great, you know." So he says, "You think I can get a T-shirt?" And I said, "Sure, I'll send you one out." He said, "I'll pay, I'll pay." I said, "Okay, whatever, that's good." We got to start talking, and he says, I said, "So what do you model?" He says, "Well, I have an HO scale layout." And he goes into this whole thing, and he's got it in his third garage of his house, and he's like, it's like 12 by like 40 something feet.
Whoa.
And with aisles and the whole thing. I said, "So what do you model?" He says, Conrail. I said, "Really?" I said, "Where?" He goes, "Most up by the New York Bay area and into central New Jersey." He says, so I was like, "Really?" So he goes, "Yeah." And we did the whole, I said, "I got to get you in touch with Joe Desmond." The Big Blue.
It's amazing. For years and years and years, and you think back to the 70s and early 80s, is all the rail fans hated Conrail. Conrail was a hated railroad from a rail fan perspective, and some of the employees really didn't like Conrail either when I'm reading into some of the articles. But now that Conrail has been gone for let's see, they shut down officially in '98. So what are we looking at? Like almost 20 years now. It's amazing how many people are starting to model Conrail. And it's just like, awesome. It's awesome. And the only thing I just hope is that the manufacturers wake up and start responding, because listen, I can do it. I'm very good at it, but I really don't want to have to paint my locomotives. I want to be able to pull off the shelf stuff, just, get them going. So it just amazes me. I mean, scale trains was a little different when they came out with the C39-8s. They put it out in Conrail, but you look at pretty much all of the scale train stuff, there is no Conrail. God forbid Kato ever puts out a Conrail locomotive, painted locomotive. Yeah. So I think times are changing. I think times.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm hopeful, but but it's just awesome. And then I've been making friends with a lot of the guys from the Conrail Historical Society, and I get a lot of information from them. Ed Kapuzinski, he's my main man. He hooks me up with a lot of info and stuff. So yeah.
Good. Let me get to some of these questions.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Tell me to shut up. I'll be
No. First, Michael Brochet said, "Just retired. I just want to tell you, Michael, congratulations on your retirement. Welcome to the club, brother. Welcome to the club." Let's see. Michelle Nicodemus, are there any other women watching your show tonight beside myself? Unfortunately, Michelle, no, there's not. Usually we have Tina Marie watching. She usually jumps in, but she's usually very busy with her own radio show in Las Vegas and stuff like that. So uh, and stuff. Let's see. Someone told me a year after they retired, he wanted to get back to work. He has no free time now because the honeydew list keeps getting longer and longer. Oh yeah, I know. I had that, but you get there. Female Mars, sorry, should have added that. Yeah, Sparky's responding to Michelle. Yeah, he's Sparky's a big blue guy, very big blue guy. He says, who says Cato? Sparky says Cato put out one Conrail local, and that was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And Eric Hall says, I live next to Chandler, Arizona. Yes, I'll see if I can get you his number. Michael Brochure says that my wife retired a year before me, and the honeydew list is a volumes. Volumes. But anyway, okay. And someone just said, oh, yeah, Jiko Su Samaraya. I hope I said that right, brother. Just looked through Joe's video and noticed I watched one before. It was able to help me when I was installing a DC decoder in my Conrail GP38. Was very, very useful. You
Awesome.
see, and here you think people don't like you. I don't understand that, Joe. They love you.
I'm humble. That's all.
I know. But I was excited when I saw your video backs. Because I try to watch as many videos as I can late at night into the early morning, not early morning, but at least 1-2 o'clock, and go through guys and see. And then yours popped up, and it was like, I said, "Oh, what is this? This is a recycled one?" And then it said new.
I filmed that first video back, and I'm horrible with remembering 70s rock, but I remember the one song that says "Feels Like the Very First Time." I wish I could have used that for my my soundtrack because it felt like the first time doing a YouTube video. It's been so long, but I even said in my third video, I said, just guys, give me some time. I feel like I'm a little rusty. I'm working through it. I'll get back to my old self. So just give me time to work it out.
I do remember that time when the baby was born.
Yep.
I do remember you coming on and you did a video. You were on with us to say that you were taking a hiatus, and then I remember you did a video like that. And then COVID came, and then everything shut down. Sparky has a question. He goes, Joe, during the showstopper, did you still use the hobby as an escape and sanity, or did that get shelved as well?
No, it got shelved. I had no time, like even just because I've kind of made this layout that it's kind of a beast in its own, where you let this thing sit for 2 or 3 weeks, and you got to put a whole day in down here cleaning everything up to get it running good again. It's amazing. It's kind of like, it's really like a race car. Like you put the car in the garage, it's not going to hold good lap times. So, the same thing here. So it got to the point where I have like a half hour. I want to go down and run some trains, and I come in and everything was dirty. Track was dirty. Nothing was operating. So it's just like, forget it. I don't got time. So yeah, I wish I could say it was a great release during the whole thing, but I just didn't have the time. I was just most of the time looking at my phone, just looking at everybody else's stuff. So
yeah, getting pissed off.
Just getting envious.
John 2618 said, I really like the new crossing system Joe did, linking with the traffic signals. Yeah, I saw that. That was very, very interesting.
All right, let me see if I can do it. No, probably not. You know what? Hold on a second. Let's see. Oh, wait. I think I can do this. Let me see if I can do this real quick without creating a catastrophe.
Don't worry about it. That's what we're all about here at Model Railroading Live. Catastrophe 101.
Oh, my gosh. It's not. The neural knob that controls the camera is not going to release. And
that's that super.
There it is. Can you see it right there?
Yeah.
Did it show up?
Let me take off
So,
my glasses so I can see better. Oh yeah. There we go. There we go.
so it's I'll talk about that. I'm going to turn the bells off. It's that it is done by. It was done by one of the operators, Brian W. And I'm not going to say his last name to protect the innocent. He's very good with Arduinos, so I kind of brought up the idea to him at one of the sessions, and he was like, "Oh, I could do that. I could do that," because I know nothing about Arduinos. So I was just like, "Well, this is what I want." And he was familiar with the intersection too, because he's been in Jamesburg, and so he knew exactly what I wanted to do. It's a very, very particular crossing.
Not to interrupt you, but I know exactly where I have a friend that lives in Jamesburg, and I have seen that many a time.
So it's got this particular T intersection where the railroad crosses right behind the T. So it would be in the way of the traffic signal. So I guess the county kind of made up this special system where when the train comes through town, it clicks the traffic signal to red. There's actually a few extra things that I didn't include here where they had the no turn arrows come on red when the signal's flashing. So he knew about it. He said, "Yeah, I can do that. I can do that." So he actually, there's a gentleman. I'm sure someone's going to post it up in the feed here. There's a guy from Model Railroad Hobbyist who does a lot with Arduino. Brian actually worked with him on writing the code for it to get it to work. And what it does is it has infrared signals that pick up as the train comes into the zone, and then it clicks off. It's got the bell, the flashers, and it takes that traffic signal all to red. But then when there's nothing in the zone and it's clear, it actually just functions as a normal traffic light control.
Right.
So traffic light just goes through its normal cycle. Yeah, super cool. And Brian did it all. I mean, guys are like, "How do you do that? How do you do that?" And I'm just, I don't know. Together, I'm like, sorry,
I have no idea.
So I'll like, if somebody posts something, I'll like just kind of either send Brian a message or tag him and say, "Hey, I don't want to answer this," or I don't like. Someone's like, "Can you build that for me?" I'm like, "I don't know,"
yeah.
And then he has to chime in. So
yeah.
But Brian's a very busy guy, so it might be a one and done. I don't think he wants to make a business out of it. But I'll tell you one thing: if he did, dude, he could make a fortune because people want that really bad. So
Michael Brochere, here's something. I was in the submarine service for 6 years.
Bullheads.
Scale helped me get through the years of stress.
What boat were you on, Mike?
You were in the submarine service, right?
Yes, sir. USS Honolulu, SSN 718. I was a torpedoman's mate, first class.
Look how that rolls off your tongue. And thank you for your service, Joe.
No, thank you. So the signals, and then I right here in Englishtown off camera here is another crossing signal right there. That's NJ International crossing signals with a logic rail signal. I like this one. It's photoelectric.
Oh, nice.
So, got a real good bell on it, and there you go.
Nice.
So it works really good. The only problem is that.
Well, Michael answered your question. He was on the Baton Rouge SSN 689.
The Baton Rouge. Okay, that's an East Coast boat, I think. Right? East Coast. So yeah, the logic rail. I like that signal system. The only issue is right now is that I got to get some ambient light in this area with all the street lights and stuff, because at night, when I do night ops, it doesn't like the dark. So
no. Yeah, okay, because it's photosensitive, right?
Yeah, but I have the blue lights. Don't forget, I have the blue lights up in the rafters here, and the blue lights don't even put out enough light to make it work properly. So I might be able to, once I put the ambient lights in with all the street lights and stuff, I might be able to. It's very adjustable, so I can adjust it. So we'll try playing with that.
Yeah, Sparky says if they can do it in the real world, there has to be a way to do it with the Adrenos.
Grandpa Rails, you used to go to Englishtown for the drag races. Yeah, I worked out at the track for 3 seasons as a kid, a teenager. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're moving along. I'm progressing around the corner. Then I'm going to skip over to Tom's River, which is when, if you recall, when you would come down the stairs through the door, there was that little area right by the door there with the big cutouts. That's supposed to be Ciba-Geigy. It's a big industrial complex down at Tom's River.
Right.
Super fun site. So I want to get that done after the first of the year.
On your layout, Joe, in scale miles, how in relative scale miles, how far in real life are these towns from each other?
Well, Englishtown to Jamesburg is about I think like maybe 6 or 7, but then like Jamesburg to Sayreville is about maybe 12. So there's it varies.
Yeah, because New Jersey is a very big state.
Yeah, Tom's River from Sayreville, I want to say maybe it's like an hour away. So it kind of varies. I never you kind of caught me on a bad one there. I never really measured it, so I don't know.
Oh no, I'm just saying because you're using select compression.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
you're trying to get as what as much as what you remember and what you want to put in, what is interesting for you. But on a scale of things, like in real life, like because I know New Jersey, from me to Tom's River is about 2 hours.
Right. I think the northern terminus, which would be Sayreville, that's the northernmost portion, down to Jamesburg. Sayreville to Jamesburg, I think, is maybe 40 minutes. But then, so like Sayreville to Jamesburg goes this way. Then the line goes this way to go down to Tom's River. So it's kind of like a zigzag.
Right.
So, but don't forget, I kind of made this more like a prototype, freelance prototype.
Right.
Because these lines, even though they were connected, they never ran trains all the way through.
Right.
So I kind of used this whole like what if question. So
right. Ari McKeevy says milepost to milepost.
Yeah, well, that's the problem is the milepost from Sayreville to Jamesburg. The milepost changes. Then it changes from Jamesburg to Freehold. And then there's a different milepost from Farmingdale to Lakehurst and Tom's River because there's 3 different lines that I've kind of mushed together.
Well, again, select compression and what you want,
But no. To answer his question, milepost to milepost is because the line that came through the yard to Jamesburg is 1 milepost system. Then there's a different milepost from Jamesburg to Freehold. And then there's a different milepost from Howell to Lakehurst. So I can't really say milepost to milepost because they all
right. Exactly. I will say this: I have been to Joe Desmond's layout, and where Joe's sitting now, and this is in no shape, way, form demeaning on your layout. Where Joe's sitting, his layout looks expansive on camera. His layout looks like it goes on forever and ever and ever. When I came down there, and I was so surprised to see so much railroad compact in a small. In fact, when I walked in, the first thing I said when I saw it was, I said, "Damn, this is small."
Yes, you did.
And I was like, and it wasn't meant to be derogatory. It was just like the amount of operation and the amount of railroad that was put in the room and planned and worked on makes it on video like a really large layout, like one of those 2-bedroom, things. But you get a lot in such a small. And the other thing was how many we had the yard master. We had you. I'm trying to remember now. We had the yard master.
1, 2, 3.
We had 4. You had 4 guys. No. You had more than that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in the room, 1 guy in the staging yard, 1 guy in the family room running. So that's where we're up to 7 now. The dispatcher 8. Then we had the road crews that were bringing the transfer run. So that was 2 more guys. So the way I designed it is that I can run this with 2 guys and have a great time, or I can run this with 12 guys and still have a good time. That was the whole thing. And over the years of doing the operation sessions, I learned you got to be able to deal with the ebbs and flows, because you'll get one session where you get 10 guys. Then the next session, it's just 2 of you and you're kind of looking at each other. So that's the great thing about this is it's all branch lines tied to a trunk is really what it is. So what happens is if I only got 2 guys, I don't have to run the branch lines.
Right, exactly. But my point was that there was enough room, and I'm a big guy.
Yes.
I'm 6'2" and about well over 250 pounds, and I was walking around.
Not. Come on.
Well, the camera adds about 10 pounds, but, but it was, there was a lot of room to walk around. But again, like when you go visit his layout, you're like, wow, this is really a small layout, but it really packs a lot of activity in it.
Yeah, and I was made sure to keep the aisles at the tightest spot. I think my tightest aisle is 30 inches. So.
Yeah, but it is really an exquisite layout, and I'm glad that you're back into it. I'm glad that the ebb and flow kind of like. Hopefully, let's keep it on the straight and narrow for the next year or so.
Yeah, I got enough. Well, this is the funny thing when I started this layout is I never expected it to take this long. I guess I had this demented idea that I was going to get this done in 3 or 4 years, and here we are, like, almost 6 years later, and we're not even we're at halfway point. So,
hey, listen, I was talking to the guy that I said was from Arizona, and he says to me, you got to be the only guy I know that completed a railroad in a year's time. He says, but then I come back to your videos and I see that you changed the peninsula out.
Yeah.
You moved track over in the closet. He says, now you're putting the harbor scene in. I said, it just keeps evolving. I said, it just keeps moving one way or the other.
And the funny thing is about this layout, Bill, is this is not my forever layout. No. This was kind of like my first big layout. Because don't forget, before this, I only done little 4x8s and modules, lots of modules. So this was always the plan this was just going to be my first room size layout. Eventually, what I'd like to do, when the time comes, I'm not going to say when that time is, but I'd like to build a different layout and, maybe a different genre of Conrail, and definitely maybe explore like a double deck type of layout. So
that would be cool. Sparky says that when you see a layout on YouTube, the layout looks small compared to the real life visit. I hear that all the time when people stop over to run on mine. And Joe G, I still don't know how people can get used to N scale. Joe.
Yes.
No, Joe G. Sorry.
Joe G. Sorry.
I'm answering his question. It only makes sense if you don't think about it, brother. And Sparky107 says, doing a cab view helps people see how long a layout is. That it doesn't make sense unless you think about it. That's Joe G's tagline on his videos. I use it every day when they ask me dumb questions. I go, it only makes sense if you think about it. Let's see. Michelle Nicodemus says you're never done when it comes to a train layout. LOL. I have plans for doing that during retirement. I'm already working on it. And Michael Brochere says, I started an N scale and stayed. I thought about changing scales, but figured I couldn't do as much in that same space. And stuff. So. GFW Trains. The boys from Chicago are in the house, Joe. Hello, Big Bill. It has been a long time. Hope all is well. Hello, everyone. Those guys are back. Having more to build is half the fun. Very true. Very true. So you think that at some point you're going to do you think you can incorporate a double deck on the layout that you now have existing?
No, it would have to all come out.
Really?
Yeah. The big thing would be depending on who designs it, because the next layout I'm not designing on my own, because this one I did a lot of mistakes that if I had it done professionally, they would have said, no, don't do that, do this.
Yeah.
And, it all depends on if whoever designs it can deal with this false wall here, because this wall here on this side of the peninsula that I'm talking about, and it's all white out, so I'm not even going to bother. Never mind. This wall here is just temporary. I framed it out. I tacked it in the floor, the ceiling, but the floor is just glued, so it'll pop out. So it would all depend if that person who designs it that says that wall has to go, then I'll rip that out, and then we'll have to do a whole rip out. But if they can follow the same footprint, then I can kind of cut up the fascia board here.
Yeah.
And work around this. So but that's still a little ways off. I'm not saying it's right. Soon, so
I know somebody that can help you with that design of the layout.
I would love to have him design a layout for me.
He will. Don't worry. I know him well. He's a good friend of mine. He owes me a favor.
He's very talented. Working with him, working with him on the shows and picking his brain off camera and stuff like that. Very talented individual.
Yes, we're talking about Mr. Bill Baronic, the track planner. So little shameless plug for him.
Yep.
But Joe Desmond, Sparky asks, is your layout based on memories, childhood, or otherwise? Or did you do the layout because you love Conrail and picked an area from the books?
Well, answer to the question is it's both. Growing up in Monmouth County, Central Jersey, there's a lot of rail lines that Conrail ran, and so I lived in Englishtown, and Englishtown's right down like I was right around the block from the Freehold Secondary. So I remember in 6th grade, I would ride the school bus home. We would go down Pergolaville Avenue to drop 2 of the kids off. It was a dead end street, and as the bus turned around and came out, I would look on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays to the west, and I'd see a train coming. So I knew they were coming out of Jamesburg because the WJ or it was the WPSA 35 called out of Brown's Yard on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday at around like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So by the time they got to Manalapan, I was getting off the bus, and I knew if I scooted my rear end home, dropped my books, grabbed my bicycle, and cut through the development and went up there was this hill. Bill, I don't think I could do it now because I probably would have a heart attack. But there was this hill, and I would race as hard as I could up that hill. Put me right out to Mount Vernon Road, and right there, and then sure enough, here would come the SA-35 coming across the crossing. So a lot of childhood memories of seeing the trains going up and down there. So yeah, I said it's obvious that I have to model that, and it was kind of like this. Even in my Navy days, being on board the submarine, and I would sit there and kind of sketch like how I would want to do it. And every sketch I would do would always come back to Englishtown because it was in my mind of being, seeing that as growing up. So whatever railroad I tried to design always looked like Englishtown. So I was like, I'm just gonna have to model it. So that's as soon as we got the basement done and I got the okay from the CEO. I was like, okay, yeah, this is what I'm gonna do, and sat down and made a real good plan.
Right. I think it's I think it's an excellent layout, an excellent plan, excellent execution of running trains. It works really well.
My style of railroading that I like is I love the secondary service. I mean, the stars of the shows are the mainline trains. Everybody wants to model the mainline, but my whole thing is once that mainline train gets to where its destination is, what happens then? Nobody really thinks about that much.
Right, exactly.
And I love the fact of think about the guy. You can relate. Think about the guy who goes out, whether it's raining or snowing, whether it's 100 degrees or 30 below. He goes out there on that locomotive with his switch list in hand, talks with the engineer, and they go out and they make the deliveries. Whether they got to get off the locomotive with a shovel to shovel out the switch points, they make sure the freight gets delivered. And that's what I like. I mean, nobody, those are the guys that make it happen. And that's why I like the whole secondary service it's the I don't know, it's kind of the allure of it for me.
Yeah, no, you're right. Absolutely it is, and it brings back certain memories and brings back certain feelings, emotions, if you will. And who says that us model railroad is a stoic and unfeeling?
Exactly.
GFW Trains, they just subscribed to you, brother. They
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and everything. That's the father-son team over there. Pastor Michael Nicodemus says, I ran the big trains for many years. He was a locomotive engineer. And so it's I'm just glad you're back, Joe, regardless of what you work. I'm glad that you're on the show. I'm glad that you reached out. I'm glad that we were able to do this, and and everything else, because it's good. Now the question I need to ask, and it's part of my CEO position here at Model Railroading Live. Will you be coming back as a presenter on Model Railroading? Will you be joining the team again?
Eventually, yes. I would love to come back.
Okay, just so that you know that this is being recorded and it will be archived. And
yeah, I'd love to come back.
Yeah, okay. Just letting you know, the law firm of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe is going to get this tape. So
we just got to figure out, timing. That's all. Timing.
That's it. No, absolutely. I'm glad to hear that, because you were, in my opinion, you were great for the show. It was good. What's in Sparky says, let's see, I am not blue here, so can't post the link, but copy and paste works. Oh, okay. I think he means that he's not a moderator on this channel. We don't really have a moderator, I believe. We should, but we don't. Pastor Nicodemus says, Joe, do your kids run trains with you?
Caitlin likes to come down and run trains. And now that she's getting a little bigger, it's easier for her, because despite what everybody comes in the room, they're like, why did you put it so high? And I just wanted it at here. For years and years of reading all the Model Railroad magazines, they're like, that's the optimal viewing height is this. And I built it this high. So for little kids, it's, I get friends and family come over with their kids and they got to hold their kids up to see the trains. But it's honestly, I didn't build the layout to watch. I built the layout to run. I built it to operate. And I thought it was optimal to have it higher. So anyway, going back to, so Caitlin, now that she's getting bigger, it's easier for her to get up here and run some trains. So she'll stand on a chair and she'll watch my little nephew, Michael. Oh man, he goes bonkers. I had him down here running a train for hours. So yeah.
I believe it. GFW Train says, hey, I just saw the first page to your YouTube channel. I was wondering, what railroad did you say you liked? LOL, just kidding. Sparky says, Joe does amazing weathering videos, decoder installs on N-scale, and super detailed local bills.
Yeah, so I have, so the big thing with that was, I have grown to like ESU decoders for N-scale sound. I think they got a great product and all that stuff, so that's my personal favorite. But I guess they're going through some retooling where the decoder that you saw in all my previous videos that I used to use was the 73100. They have phased that out for the new generation of decoders. But I guess during COVID and all that stuff, there's this big production lag. So all of a sudden now there's like everybody's scrambling to get new ESU sound decoders for N-scale. So going back, right around the May timeframe when I'm cleaning up in the layout room, I did a big deep cleaning in here and was reorganizing because getting going again, and I found a stack of 5 ESU 73100s that I forgot I bought 2 years ago, right before the last show that we did together. Right. And I found them. I said, oh my gosh, I forgot about these. So I have 5 of those bad boys, and I'm going to do a bunch of. I got 5 locomotives to do installs on. One of them is going to be a complete paint job, and I'm thinking it's going to be an Erie Lackawanna patch.
Oh, nice!
So I think that'll be fun. I'll make a nice video for that. But yeah, so
Chris Lambert wants to know what code and brand of track do you use?
Micro Engineering, code 55. I initially started code 55 micro engineering turnouts. Did not like them. Had a horrendous time with them. It was a big learning curve and a lot of growing pains with that. And I the newer section, the last bit of track I laid over in the family room, I used the Atlas Code 55 turnouts. They also have their problems, but I think they're much better than microengineering turnouts. But there's a section on that side of the layout that needs to be relaid. Though it was my first real section of track that I did, and it's horrible. I have a lot of problems with it, so I'm going to relay that with code 55 microengineering track with Fast Track's hand-built turnouts.
Right.
So
Fast Track. Oh, you're going to do them yourself? You're going to make them?
Yeah, I've been talking to a lot of people, reading a lot of research, and there's just I think the manufacturers are behind the 8 ball where they're just trying to push out product to meet the demand, and I think the quality control is real low. Yeah. So I think I think hand building the Code 55 Fast Track's turnouts will solve the issues that I have here on the layout.
Yeah, as far as the decoders go, there's a big demand for everything with the chips. I just recently, back in March, June, I purchased a brand new car, and the salesman told me that this is actually what they have on their lot would be the last, because they can't get any more. They can't get chips for the cars. And that's all over. I mean, and everything. So in model railroading, I mean, where are we on the scale of, hey, we need chips for the aeronautic, the aviation and airport, and then everything. So, it trickles down.
But I'll tell you one thing. I think the one thing that I think has changed in scale, and I think I was thinking doing show prep in my head today, and I was thinking about we did a show, a locomotive shop, a long time ago, and I mentioned it. I think it's really coming to fruition here. Is I don't think it's going to work. We're not going to have to worry about doing these decoder installs in InScale anymore, because I'm looking at the pre-production and the production that's out there for InScale locomotives with the factory installed sound. It's pretty much going to be a dying art. Yeah. I've even said it myself that this will probably be the last group of decoders that I buy. Because my fleet will be all sound equipped then, and everything I'm going to buy after that's going to be already sound equipped.
Right? Exactly. What was I going to say here? Been working. John Banachek says been working with Fast Tracks and Oak Hill turnout jigs. Fun so far. John 2618 says thinking of doing Fast Tracks myself on my new layout as well. So that's good. That's good. I'm just excited. Like I said again, I'm just excited that you're back in the saddle again, and things are starting to even out. And as we come out of this doom and gloom, and start emerging into the fall season here, and then get back into working on our layouts, and you're working on your layout, and looking forward to more videos and more scenery input and stuff like that. Because I remember when I was there the last time, it was all basically prairie plywood.
Yeah, I think
mock-ups.
Yeah, up to about here was done, but since then, all behind here, all around here, this area is all almost done. So yeah, I've gotten a lot more done since you've been here.
Yeah, it looks really great. It looks really great, and it's good to have you back.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's fun being back. I'm glad I'm making videos again. I'm very happy. I will apologize if any of my followers are watching tonight. I haven't responded to the comments from the last videos. I think that was out 2 weeks now, so I got to get over there and do that. I like interacting with the audience through the comments section. So
I have to say that's one thing that you're really good at. You really are.
I always make sure to go and look at the comments. And I always like it, so I know that I answered that comment.
Right.
If there's nothing really to say, I always say thank you or something like that, because that's just a big, huge pet peeve of mine. Is people, and not just model railroading channels, but other YouTube channels you follow, and they want you to follow and subscribe and like and all this stuff, but then you post a comment and you take your time to do something and say something nice to the person, and you never get a response. That just drives me bananas.
Yeah.
Take the time to go through and just throw me a like on my comment or something.
Yeah.
So that was my big pet peeve, and I know I always take care of it on my channel. So I apologize to everybody I haven't done it yet.
Okay. I think they're a forgiving crowd. I mean, Let's see. Michael Brochet says, I've heard of power problems if you get too many sound locomotives. Have you seen that? And what would you do to deal with that?
No, because yeah, okay. So
Good question, by
it's
the
been
way,
a
Mike.
while since I did. I got to pull out my notebook, and I don't know where it is. I think they say a sound locomotive that is online making sound in scale draws, I think, like 0.8 amps, I believe. And so what you have to do is you got to do your mathematical calculations. So consequently, what I've done is I've broken up. I have 4 power districts. And then my main power district, which the big thing has changed since you were here, Bill, is remember how when somebody was on the branch line and they shorted and they ran against the turnout, the whole layout would shut down?
Right.
Well, I've got an individual breaker now, and I've broken it up where the branch lines are isolated. So if they mess up, the whole thing doesn't.
Okay.
So that's different. So I've broken it up into power districts, and then my number 1 power district is broken into 4 sub-districts. So by power districts with individual boosters, you can control that where you don't have to worry about tripping. So the engine terminal is on its own power district, and I actually did a video a couple years ago testing it where I had 4 on the house, 3 on the sanding track, and 3 on the ready track, all running sound, and I never tripped the breaker. So
nice.
Yeah, you just got to be smart about how you lay out your electrical system, and you can pull it off.
Right. What now that the fact that you've been away from your layout and you're recently getting back into it, basically what you're doing is you're looking at it with fresh eyes.
Yeah, I am. I'm standing here staring at Saraville at the engine servicing terminal, and I'm like, I want more trees. It looks horrible. So I'm like, yeah. So I'm looking at it through fresh eyes, and I occasionally keep glancing over at Saraville, where the Sunshine Plant and the National Lead Plant is, and I love the way that came out. Actually, now I'm sitting here staring at it for this whole time.
Right.
So, yeah, you're right. You do look at it in fresh eyes, and it's pretty cool. It's really cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. So now you can see improvements in what you want to add, like you said, more scenery, more trees, right. And doing that whole thing. So that's pretty cool. Well, Joe, I'm glad that you're back in the house and back in the saddle of model railroading. I want to tell you, it was great having you on the show. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm gonna throw out a quick announcement then.
Wait. Wait. One more thing. I didn't forget. Don't think I forgot. I didn't forget. I want to know something. What are you doing on Saturday, October 23rd? What are you doing that day?
Okay. So
and this is your reply where you say, well, Bill, I'm glad you asked.
Well, Bill, I'm glad you asked.
Okay,
so
there you go.
Approximately a year and a half ago, so right before the baby was born in 2019, I was given the opportunity to present at the NMRA Middle Eastern Regional Convention and do a clinic. So I was actually really taken aback. And the gentleman
that they asked you?
Did they ask me? Yeah. I was just like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Joe, come on.
I didn't know. So the guy's like, you're one of a pool that they have a board and they decide who's going to do it. So I made it through the final stages, and they're like, okay, before we make our final decisions, we want to know what would you like to do a clinic on? So I gave them 3 opportunities, and one of the ideas I had been thinking about that I thought that we don't really talk about, and I was maybe going to do a video on it or come on and do a show, was the use of social media in model railroading. I think it's just a huge topic that has to be discussed, and I never noticed anybody really talking about it, the Facebook, the Instagram, and all that. So I threw that in there as kind of like my number 3 choice. And he came back to me. He goes, hey, what's this number 3, this social media model railroading? And I explained to him through email and told him what my idea was. He goes, okay, we'll get back to you. And he came back. He goes, I talked to the committee and they love that idea. They want you to do it. So I'm like, oh, awesome. So I'm going to be giving on the 23rd. I'm going to be in Salon D at the Mount Clair at 2:30 in the afternoon. And I'll be giving that presentation. It's going to be a slideshow presentation. It's not really going to be a clinic, like an NMRA clinic, like hands-on, but it's going to be fun. I'm very excited to do it.
So it's going to be a lecture, more or less.
Yeah, a lecture, but I want to keep it fun.
A presentation.
Yeah, I want to keep it fun and interactive. I don't want to lose people and boring lecture.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
But that's an interesting subject.
I think it's a subject, Bill, that we really have to talk about, and it is. It's social media is a big part of model rarity now. I mean, look what we're doing right now. This is social media, So and the Facebook and the things that model raritors are doing on Facebook, and I think it really needs to be talked about, because there is a certain audience out there in the model rariting community that like, ooh, social media, no, it's bad. I don't want to do that, but I can teach you ways that it can be good for you. You can learn
exactly.
That's why I'm excited to do this.
Yeah, Pastor Michael Nicodemus, unfortunately, Joe's camera is stuck in one position, and when we cannot give a tour of the layout. But, can you, Joe?
This thing, my cord is really short, and this thing is frozen all of a sudden. Oh, wait. Ooh.
Oh, we broke it.
Nope, we got it.
Here we go. Hey, Michael, you are in for a treat.
Is that focusing? It's not really picking up, Bill.
That is. It's a little washed out in the white, but it's still good. We can see it.
Hold on, guys. I'm sorry if I'm making you nauseous. Give me a second.
That's me throwing up. But I'm only kidding, Joe. Look at the green. Now it's coming in focus.
Yeah, that's Sayreville. That's the engine servicing terminal. Brown's Yard. I'm on a short.
Nice. JFW Train says that is a cool topic for model railroading community. You will be helping the hobby grow by presenting on that. Fantastic.
Let's see here. James.
Nice, with the lights on and everything. Very nice, Joe.
Hold on.
Let's see. Okay, here we go.
Yes, a little better.
Yeah.
That's the lake. That's Manalapan Lake at Jamesburg. There's the traffic light at the intersection. Some of the downtown buildings. There's the Veterans Memorial Park over there.
Nice.
Parking area. Cumberland Farms. The old Upper Jamesburg, Pennsylvania Road, Upper Jamesburg Station. That goes to the hole in the family room over there for that layout out there. So, yeah.
Very nice, Joe. I like the scenery.
Thank you.
It really does. You're right. More trees, bro.
Yeah, I need more trees, right? I think everybody agrees.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go, Pastor Mike. That's the best I can do for right now. Short notice.
Yeah. So on October 23rd, the NMRA meet Mount Clair at Salon D, speaking on social media in model railroading.
Yep.
That correct?
Yes, that is correct, Bill. That is correct. Yeah, so if anybody's down there in the Baltimore region wants to come out and meet me or come listen to me talk, and I'll share some tips and how you guys can get your social media going. Yeah, come on out. I'd love to meet everybody.
That's right. If you do come out, the first 25 people will get a 8x10 picture of me, signed and autographed, free of charge.
Yes, there you go.
There you go. So that would be a reason to come and see you.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah, I'm a legend in my own mind. Pastor Michael Nicodemus says, thank you so much, Joe.
You're welcome.
Michelle Nicodemus says, hey, Joe, how long have you been doing train modeling?
Oh, forever. I think my first layout was a 4x8. A Tyco set laid out on a 4x8 from two guys that my dad put together on a weekend when I was 6. And I've been involved in it ever since, every step of the way. Even when I was in the Navy out in Pearl Harbor, I was still building. I found this great little, this great model shop in the Ala Moana Mall in Honolulu. And I would go get blue box, Athearn blue box, shake a box, HO scale kits, and I'd put them together in my apartment. So I always kept, reading model rare, always kept involved. So yeah, forever.
That's good. And John 2618 says, love the old school Cumberland Farms. Brings me right back.
Cumbies, right?
Yeah.
I looked at that and I was like, I gotta have the signage. The signage really sets the period. If you notice, I didn't point it out. The Gulf Station, right next to Cumberland Farms, I actually found a picture of a gasoline sign because I modeled 1988. I found a gasoline sign from 1988, and the gas was 88 cents a gallon.
Oh,
how about that? So I think signage really sets your time period, and it really puts you into the the era that you're modeling. So I think that was key. And Cumberland Farms was definitely had to be there.
Yeah, Michelle asks again, how long did it take you to get to 1,000 subscribers?
1,000 subscribers. Actually, I did a video on it. Hold on, I can answer the question exactly.
GFW trains is George and Wally, by the way. I'm sorry I didn't mention that earlier. George and Wally. Wally, how you doing, buddy? George, how's everything? Still playing baseball? Creepy013 says 3 foot is a good height. It gives you room to go up to another level. Yes, very true. Very true.
Looking. Yep. 1,000 subscribers was 5 years ago.
Wow.
So that was 2016. So a year. I took a year to get my videos up to 1,000.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, you used to you were producing a video like practically every week.
Yeah, I was. I was looking at the channel.
I mean, you were turning them out.
I was rocking and rolling.
You were.
And,
you were.
Right now, I think we're at 4.8 thousand.
4.8. That
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah. And you know what's funny was I was actually still getting some viewers and growth through the whole period when I was shut down. So, yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, a lot of people. There were a lot of people weren't able to do a lot of things, so they were watching videos.
Yeah.
You know, they were. I mean, I can tell you, and I can speak maybe for everybody, but you know, those that are doing live streaming, I know for MRL, we were up there, you know, doing a lot. GFW Trains, he says, it's great seeing you again, Bill. It's like finding change in the couch. Makes you smile. I love these guys, father and son, Judge and Wally. They're great guys. Great guys. So, Joe, thank you so much again for being on Who's Big Bill Talking To. We definitely want to see you again. We want to see you hosting on Model Railroading Live. We got to work out the time and when is available. We can even now do pre-recordings. So and we got indoor plumbing. And
that kind of works in the green room.
Yeah, it does, and I'm glad. I hope it wasn't too comfortable. You know, uncomfortable. I know the air conditioner wasn't. Did they put the block of ice with the fan?
Yes, yeah,
they did. Okay, good. And they didn't have any of the gasoline sushi there, right?
No, thank God.
Was the Chaw tobacco of your liking? Because
it was my brand. Thank you very much.
Oh, because we found that in the street, and we just dusted it off. You know, so you know it's good to know. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Joe, for being on. And for you guys out there watching, we were interviewing Joe Desmond, and his YouTube channel is Central Jersey Conrail in N Scale. And go subscribe to his channel because he has a lot of good stuff and a lot of great hints, and it works as well for HO scale and everything else. And I want to thank all you guys out there in YouTube land who watched, because without you, I'm just talking to dead air, and you know me, I'm from New York. I can talk to a wooden Indian and he'll answer me back. But I'm glad you guys were out there listening and answering and contributing to the show, because without you, again, it's not a show. You guys make it the best. Again, September's rolling around the corner. We're going to have Johnny's Train Talk show coming back with a big bang of insights and questions and all new things. And the Railroad Empire, like I said earlier, those guys are like banging out ideas left and right, hitting them right out of the ballpark. So it should be exciting in September. Until then, we'll see you on the radio. God bless. You guys be well, be safe, but most of all, please be blessed. And again, you know the story. Rod Stewart, I couldn't get you in. Joe Desmond was the best. How could I preempt Joe Desmond for you? So Rod Stewart. So you guys take care, all right? We'll see you guys on the radio.